I'm truly heartbroken. My husband and I have been child-free for 28 years. We built a multi-million-dollar fortune through hard work. Out of pity, we adopted our nephew as our son. We spent tens of millions in resources training him for 10 years, but once he became successful, he immediately turned on us. He treated us like a free stepping stone and ATM. At 50 years old, my husband and I finally woke up. We changed our will, started trying to conceive at an advanced age, our own empire. Why leave it to an ungrateful jerk? My husband Luja and I have been married for 28 years. Dink for 28 years. We were both busy when we were young. He worked in construction. He went from a low-level construction worker to owning 3 construction companies. As for me, I started out selling socks from a street stall. Step by step, I now have 3 brand agencies. Honestly, the journey we've been through, the hardships we've endured, the pain we've suffered, outsiders can't even imagine. As for not having kids, the reason is simple. I have serious baggage from my original family. After my mom had my younger brother, she treated me like I was invisible. My dad was even worse, a real alcoholic. When he got drunk, he'd hit people. Luja wasn't much better off. The Lu family had a lot of kids. He was the 3rd child. Not the eldest, not the youngest. Dad didn't care, mom didn't love. He learned one thing from a young age: no one can be relied on. Only yourself. So we talked it over, and decided not to have kids. Living free and easy our whole lives is just fine. The problem is, when you don't have kids, the people around you won't let it go. Especially Luja's whole big family. Every holiday when we all sit together, the topic never changes. Who gets your property when you're gone? Luja's mom, my mother-in-law, is in her 80s and still hung up on this. Every time we meet, she goes on about it. 3rd son, what is the point of making all that money? In the end, you won't even have anyone to break the funeral bowl for you. I just want to laugh when I hear that. Break the funeral bowl. Once you're dead, who cares who breaks the bowl? But she never lets up. She says it year after year, month after month. In the end, even Luja himself started to waver. The turning point came 12 years ago. Luja's eldest brother Lu Cheng's son, Lu Zishu, got into a key high school in the city. Lu Cheng called and said, "Third brother, Zishu has good grades. The rural education resources aren't good enough. Can he stay at your place? Just live here for 3 years. Leave right after high school graduation." Lu Cheng was polite about it, but you could clearly read between the lines. You guys have a big house. And no kids. What is the big deal about helping out? Luja values brotherhood a lot. He agreed right away without a second thought. Lu Zishu was 18 when he came. He was 5'10", skinny as a rail. Wearing a pair of black-rimmed glasses, he'd smile at everyone he met, and had the sweetest mouth. That kid was really impressive. His grades were in the top 10 of his grade. He was organized in everything he did. After he moved in with us, he kept his own room spotless, never caused us any trouble. During that time, the topics Luja and I talked about changed. Before, we talked about projects, contracts, and competitors. Then eventually, the conversation always turned to Lu Zishu. One time, Luja had a couple of drinks, and said with emotion, "Having a kid around the house, it really makes the place feel different." I didn't respond, but I have to admit, he was right. A big house feels empty. Before, we'd both be busy with our own stuff, come home and not even feel like talking, each glued to our own phone, and go to bed on time. After Lu Zishu came, the house felt alive. There was someone to talk to at dinner, someone to play chess with Luja on weekends, and someone to leave a light on for me when I came home late from work. These little things slowly changed us. Lu Cheng picked his moment. That spring festival, the whole Lu family gathered together. After a few rounds of drinks, Lu Cheng stood up with his glass. "Third brother, Li Ting, I need to talk to you about something." Everyone looked at him. "You've been raising Zishu for 2 years now. I can tell he is closer to you guys than to us." Lu Cheng smiled, with all sincerity. "Your sister-in-law and I have talked it over. How about we have Zishu formally adopted by you? How about having Zishu be adopted by you guys? Let him take care of you in your old age. He'll help you run the company too." As soon as he said that, the whole table exploded. My mother-in-law was the first to speak up. "This is good. Finally, someone will inherit the third brother's property." The eldest sister-in-law chimed in. "Zishu is a sensible kid. If you treat him well, he'll definitely be filial." Luja's second sister cut in. "Big brother is willing. Zishu is your eldest son." Lu Cheng waved his hand. "What is there to be reluctant about? Being with the third brother is better than being with me. I'm just a brother who spoils his younger sibling. What can I give the kid? The third brother is different. He has a company and assets. Zishu will have a better future with them. It sounded noble, but I understood the real meaning loud and clear. You don't have kids. We have a lot of kids. We'll give you one. It is a win-win for everyone. I didn't say anything at the time. I said I'd go home and think about it. When we got home that night, Lu Jie actually brought it up to me first. He said he'd been thinking about it for a long time. He thought Big Brother had a point. We're both 40 years old. It is too late to try for a kid now. Instead of letting everything we've built go to strangers, it is better to raise a kid we know. What do you think of Zishu? Lu Jie asked me. I thought about it for a moment and said, he is not bad. But what? I couldn't put my finger on it. Just a gut feeling. I've been in business my whole life, and I've seen plenty of people acting fake in front of you and backstabbing behind. So I've gotten into the habit of being suspicious of everything. But Lu Jie also had a point. We didn't have any better options. So we went through the adoption process, officially took Lu Zishu as our adopted son. Over the next 10 years, Lu Jie and I poured everything into raising him. We sent him to the best business school for undergrad, then sent him abroad for an MBA after graduation. When he came back, he started at the very bottom of the company. After coming back, I started from the very bottom at the company. Step by step, we hired the best teachers to teach him how to run the business, financial management, and business negotiations. We spent at least 2 million on him every year, and Lu Zishu really lived up to it. He picked things up fast, a quick thinker, and did a great job at the company. Even the old-timers who'd been with us for over a decade praised him, saying Zishu's a good kid, just like a real chairman. When Lu Jie heard that, he couldn't stop smiling. A year ago, Lu Zishu got married. The wedding was extremely grand. We booked 80 tables at the best hotel on the outskirts, and spent over 400,000 just on the wedding planning company. Lu Jie handled everything himself, paid attention to every little detail, more devoted than to his own projects. I joked to him, you didn't even put this much effort into your own wedding, did you? He cracked a rare joke. That's different. Back then I married you with nothing. Now I'm making up for it with our son's wedding. The bride was Lin Qiqi, a classmate of Lu Zishu's from his time studying abroad. Her family was in foreign trade, pretty well off too. She was very beautiful, spoke softly, and brought me a gift the first time we met. It was a Herman's scarf, clearly a thoughtful pick. I told Lu Jie right then, this girl's great, really considerate. The first few months after the wedding were fine. The young couple lived in the new house we prepared, came back for meals on holidays, and called regularly to check in. When Lin Qiqi got pregnant, I was overjoyed. I specifically hired a nutritionist to help her get in shape, and had someone buy the best pregnancy products from abroad. The day the baby was born, I waited outside the delivery room for 6 hours. The nurse came out holding a chubby little boy, and I reached out to take him. But Lin Qiqi's mom rushed up in a flash, grabbed him first, muttering, "Oh, my sweet grandbaby, let grandma hold you." My hand froze in midair. Lu Jie gently patted my shoulder from behind, and whispered, "It's okay." Grandma was super excited. I didn't think much of it. After all, he was her real grandson. It is only natural to get excited. But things started to feel off. On the day of the baby's 1-month celebration, according to our local tradition, we had to throw a banquet at a hotel. I started preparing a week in advance, booking the hotel, ordering the menu, arranging the seating. I was busy as a bee. Lu Zishu did say one thing. "You've worked hard, Mom." But that was it. He didn't bother with any of the details after that. On the day of the 1-month banquet, I specifically wore a new qipao I just bought. Wanted to make the event look decent, but when I got to the hotel, I found the seating arrangement at the main table had been changed. Lu Cheng and his wife were seated right in the middle. Lu Jie and I got pushed to the side. I thought the hotel made a mistake, so I called the manager over to ask. The manager said, "Mr. Lu specifically requested it." "Which Mr. Lu?" "Lu Zishu." My face immediately dropped, but with so many guests around, I couldn't make a scene. Lu Jie grabbed my hand and shook his head at me. Halfway through the banquet, it was time to put the longevity lock on the kid. I had pre-ordered that thing. It is solid gold, with the kid's name engraved on it. Cost me over 20,000. I walked up to Lin Qiqi with the lock, ready to put it on the baby. But Lin Qiqi instinctively turned the kid toward Lu Cheng's wife, and said with a smile, "Mom, let Grandma do it." Grandma. When he said grandma, he meant Lu Cheng's wife, Lu Zishu's biological mother. I just stood there frozen, rooted to the spot. The lock in my hand felt heavy. Lu Cheng's wife didn't hold back. She took the baby with a big smile, and while putting the lock on, she said, "Grandma's little treasure, Grandma will put this on you." Bless you with a long, long life. I stood there on the side, like an outsider. Luja's face went completely dark. On the drive home that day, the car was dead silent. Luja was driving. I was in the passenger seat, and neither of us said a word. Just before we got home, Luja suddenly slammed on the brakes. He slapped the steering wheel, making loud cracks. What is the meaning of this? His voice was really low, but you could hear the anger in it. What is their family trying to do? I didn't say anything, because I didn't know what to say. Saying Luzishu is ungrateful, but he still comes back for holidays, calling us mom and dad, calling him a snake. But over the years, he really has given his all to the company, and the performance has been good. But that feeling of being pushed to the side, it is like a thorn stuck in your heart. Not fatal, but it hurts all the time. Over the next few months, that feeling of being pushed aside only got stronger. Luzishu and Linchichi brought the kid over to eat less and less. It went from once a week to every 2 weeks, and then to once a month. Every time we asked, they'd either say the kid wasn't feeling well, or that the other side's parents missed the kid. That other side's parents are Lu Cheng and his wife. One time I happened to be passing by his place, and thought I'd go see his kid. I went straight to Luzishu's house without letting them know. Knocked for a long time, no one answered. I was about to leave, when the neighbor next door poked her head out and said, "They're all at the park, just left, head east that way if you want to catch them." I drove east, and saw them at the entrance of a park. Luzishu was pushing a stroller. Linchichi was holding his arm. Lu Cheng and his wife were walking in front. The four of them were chatting and laughing. That scene was as warm as a painting. Lu Cheng's wife said something I couldn't hear, and Luzishu laughed really relaxed. It was a kind of laugh I'd never seen from him in front of us. I sat in the car watching this, and suddenly felt so ridiculous. I spent 10 years, invested tens of millions, raising someone else's child. That night I went back, and told Luja about this. Luja was silent for a long time, then just said one thing. I saw it a long time ago. I just didn't want to admit it. Things weren't going well at the company either. After Luzishu got married, Luja, to train him up, voluntarily stepped back, handed over most of the chairman's authority, only kept the signing rights for major decisions. The company's daily operations were all handed to Luzishu, and he was given the general manager position too. At first it was okay. Luzishu was cautious. No, he wouldn't run. But gradually, his attitude changed. The first to complain was the CFO Old Joe, a guy who'd been with Luja for 15 years. Old Joe said, "President Lu Sishu recently replaced the heads of several departments. Didn't even talk to the board about it. Just issued the documents directly." Luja asked, "Who'd he replace?" Old Joe listed a bunch of names. The more we heard, the more something felt off. All those replaced were the old-timers who fought alongside Luja to build the company. People who didn't leave even when the company was at its worst. A few days later, the HR director, Old Chen, came to me and said, "Luzishu wants to hire a bunch of new people. The salary he is offering is 30% above market rate, and he is putting them all in key positions." Old Chen said, "I brought it up with him, and he said I don't understand modern business management. Told me to talk less and work more." I called Luja right away, asking if he knew about all this. Luja said he'd go check it out. The next day, Luja went to the company to find Luzishu. No idea what exactly was said, but when Luja came back his face was pale. I asked him what was wrong. He sat down on the couch, was silent for a long time before saying anything. I said he shouldn't replace people without going through the board. Guess what he said? "What?" He said, "Dad, your management style is outdated. Nowadays, it is all about efficiency and speed. Those old-timers of yours take high salaries and do nothing. They should have been replaced a long time ago." Hearing that, I felt like someone poured cold water on my heart. Luja looked at me, with a tiredness in his eyes I'd never seen before. "Li Ping, did we do something wrong?" I didn't answer, because I was thinking the same thing. What finally made up my mind happened 3 months ago. That day, I was having tea with a few old friends. Everyone was talking about their kids. Old Zhang's son got into the civil service. Old Lai's daughter opened a bakery. Business is booming. Everyone was chatting away. The atmosphere was lively. I was the only one sitting there not able to jump into the conversation. A couple years ago I would have chimed in about Luzishu, praising him for being good at school, talented, but now I don't want to talk about him at all. They were talking about blood ties, about that bond that runs deeper than any fight. That's something Luzishu and I will never have. Wang Jie sitting across from me is the most clear-headed person in our circle. Her husband lost a ton of money in business years ago. They were drowning in debt. and she and her son paid it all off working together. When she talked about it, there wasn't a hint of bitterness on her face. Instead, she was smiling so relaxed. Pinger. She suddenly looked at me and said, "Have you ever thought about one thing?" "What thing?" "You and your husband are only 50. Not like you're pushing 80 or something. Why not have one of your own?" Everyone froze. I froze too. Wang Jie kept going. "Don't take this the wrong way. That foster son of yours, you raised him for 10 years. You spent the money you had to spend, gave the care you had to give, but now he's made something of himself. And look who he's close with, the empire you and Lu Jia built. Are you really gonna hand it all over to him?" My heart jumped. "A child of your own blood, good or bad, they're yours." Wang Jie picked up her teacup and said slowly, "Why let an outsider make you feel bad?" Everyone went quiet after that. When I got home that day, I lay in bed, tossing and turning, thinking about what Wang Jie said. Yeah, why? We're only 50. Medicine is so advanced now. Plenty of people have kids at 50. Even if we lived to 70, the kid would be 20, an adult, independent, even if our health goes bad, and we pass early, we can set up a family trust, have someone manage the assets, and hand it over when the kid grows up. How is that not better than giving everything to someone who doesn't even treat us like family? That night, Lu Jie realized, I'm not asleep. I turned on the desk lamp. What is wrong? Can't sleep. I looked at him, and suddenly asked, Lu Jie, do you want a child that is really ours? He froze, frozen for a long time. So long I thought he didn't hear me. I was about to ask again, when he spoke. Yes, his voice was a little hoarse. I've wanted that for a long time. I just thought you didn't want to. My nose stung. I almost broke down in tears. 28 years. We both thought the other didn't want kids. But really, neither of us ever said it out loud. I held his hand. I'll ask someone to find a doctor tomorrow. Modern medicine is so advanced. Nothing is impossible. That night, we talked until 3 a.m. We agreed on 3 things. First, re-establish the family fund. Put all core assets into it. The beneficiaries can only be our future biological child. Second, Lu Jie takes back full control of the company. Revoke all authority given to Lu Zishu. Third, update the will. Remove Lu Zishu's inheritance rights as an adopted son. If we end up having no biological child, all assets will be donated. Not a single cent left. The next morning, I contacted the best reproductive medicine center in the provincial capital. At the same time, Lu Jie went to the company. I only heard about what happened at the company that day from old Joe later. Lu Jie directly called a board meeting. As chairman, he announced he was taking back the general manager's daily operational authority. All major decisions require his signature before they can be implemented. At the same time, he announced the formation of an internal audit team to conduct a full review of all major decisions and personnel changes over the past 6 months. Lu Zishu exploded on the spot. Dad, what is this supposed to mean? He slammed the table and asked at the board meeting. Lu Jie looked at him. His tone was terrifyingly calm. It is not fun at all. The company needs standardized management. Standardized management. Lu Zishu gave a cold laugh. That is not what you said when you stepped down. You told me to go all out. Now you're suddenly taking back the power. How do you expect the staff to see me? How the staff see you doesn't matter. What matters is that the company doesn't have problems. What problems has the company had? In the year I've been managing, the company's performance grew. Did you look at the financial reports? Performance growth is good, but the company's profit decreased. And you replaced the entire team. Do you think I can't see what you're doing? The conference room fell silent. Lu Zishu's expression shifted, but he quickly regained his composure. I made those personnel changes for the good of the company. Those old-timers can't keep up. Keeping them around just holds us back. Can't keep up. Lu Jie slowly stood up, staring straight into Lu Zishu's eyes. Lao Zhou has been with me for 15 years. He built the company's financial system from scratch. Lao Chen has been with me for 12 years. He personally brought in every single long-term customer. And you say they can't keep up? Lu Zishu, how many years have you even been in the company? The conference room was dead silent. Lu Zishu clenched his fists, his teeth grinding audibly. Fine, very well. He stood up, slammed the folder on the table. Since you don't trust me at all, then there is nothing left to say. I quit. He turned and walked away. When he reached the door, he stopped, turned back to look at Lu Jie, a cold smirk on his lips. But Dad, I'm warning you now. Sooner or later you'll find out. Those old loyalists of yours can't be trusted. Don't come crying to me then. Lu Jie didn't even glance at him. That same afternoon, news of Lu Zishu's resignation reached the Lu family. The first call came from Lu Cheng. on Luja's cell phone. I wasn't there, but later, Luja told me everything from the call. Lu Cheng said on the phone. Third brother, what do you mean by this? Zishu was doing fine at the company. Why did you force him to leave? Luja said. Big brother, I didn't force him to leave. He resigned on his own. If you hadn't taken away his authority, could he resign? Lu Cheng's voice got louder. Third brother, Zishu is your son, your eldest brother's son. How could you treat him like this? Big brother, he is my adopted son. But first, he is your biological son. There was silence on the phone for a few seconds. What do you mean by that? Lu Cheng's voice suddenly changed. It became a little unnatural. What I mean is, Zishu's child calls your wife grandma. What does he call Ting? Luja said, word by word, since the child was born. I think you all are the real family. Lu Cheng stammered and couldn't say anything definite. Finally he said, I'll talk to Zishu later. Then he hung up. But the matter was far from over. The next day, the entire Lu family came in full force. Mother-in-law led the way. Lu Cheng and his wife followed behind. Luja's second sister, fourth brother, fifth brother, even the fifth brother's son who just started college came. A crowd of over a dozen people packed our living room full. As soon as she walked in, mother-in-law grabbed Luja's hand. Her eyes red. Third brother, what are you trying to do? That child Zishu is so good. Why did you drive him away? Luja helped her sit down. Mom, I didn't drive him away. I made a normal management adjustment at the company. He couldn't handle it, so he resigned voluntarily. Then give his authority back to him. Lu Cheng's wife chimed in. That child Zishu is capable and has ideas. You won't let him work, so we're gonna let outsiders handle it. Luja shot him a look. Sister-in-law, you don't understand business. Don't worry about it. Lu Cheng's wife's face stiffened. She was about to say something, but Lu Cheng pulled her back. Lu Cheng walked up to Luja himself. The two brothers stood face to face. The atmosphere was a little tense. Lu Cheng was 5 years older than Luja. They looked alike, but their temperaments were totally different. Lu Cheng had spent his whole life in the countryside. His skin was dark and rough. He spoke in a loud voice. And Luja, even though he'd been hustling in the city for years, deep down he still valued brotherhood. That was the thing I saw clearest. Little third, Lu Cheng started. His tone wasn't asking. It was more like telling. About Zishu. Listen to me for once. The kid's young and hot-headed. His words came out harsh. But his heart's in the right place. Give him another chance. Let him go back and work hard. Sooner or later, the family property is still his, right? That sentence was like a knife, hitting right at the core. Family property. What they'd been after, from start to finish, was the property. Lu just smiled. Brother, I'm only 50 this year. I'm not 70 or 80 yet. I'm still in great shape. I can keep going for another 20 years, no problem. As for the property, talk to me when I'm about to die. All right. Lu Cheng's face instantly flushed red. Mother-in-law was wiping her tears on the side. Little third, talking like that, you're stabbing your brother in the heart. He is doing this for your own good. Why can't you see that? I looked at all these people in the room, and suddenly felt exhausted. Over the years, I thought I'd gotten used to the Lu family barging in, but sitting here now, watching him, they all ganged up on me to plead for Lu Zishu. Suddenly, I realized something. In their eyes, everything Luja and I have will eventually go to Lu Zishu. We're just two caretakers holding on to their property. We work hard day in and day out, saving every penny we can. And when we're too old to stand, we hand it all over. Why should we? I stood up. Mom, big brother, sister-in-law, everyone. I tried to keep my voice steady. Since we're all here today, let me make things clear. Everyone turned to look at me. First, Lu Zishu quitting was his own choice. We didn't force him. Second, regarding the company's management rights, Luja is the chairman. He has the right to do whatever he thinks is right. Third, and most importantly, I paused for a moment, my eyes scanning everyone in the room. Luja and I are planning to have our own child. The living room went dead silent. So quiet you could hear the clock ticking on the wall. My mother-in-law reacted first. Her mouth dropped wide open. What did you say? You're going to have a baby? Yes. Are you crazy? Lu Cheng's wife blurted out. How old are you? 50. Having a kid at that age is risking your life. Sister-in-law, I know my own body. Don't worry about it. Lu Cheng's face turned the color of a pig's liver. His lips trembled for a long time, but he couldn't get a single word out. Luja's fourth brother's wife was sharp though. She immediately switched to a smiling face. Third sister-in-law, having a baby is great news. But what about Zishu? Zishu will always be Luja. is in my adopted son. We won't deny that relationship, I said, but as for the inheritance, we've already made new arrangements. What arrangements? Lu Cheng finally found his voice. We set up a family fund. The only beneficiaries can be our future biological kids. If we end up having no biological kids, all the assets go to charity. Those words hit like a bomb and exploded in the living room. Lu Cheng shot to his feet, his chair tipped over and crashed to the floor. Donate it? His voice was practically a roar. You're going to donate the family fortune? Lu Jie looked at him coldly. Big brother, that money belongs to us, not you. Lu Cheng's face went from red to white, then from white to green, finally settling on an expression I'd never seen on him before. That expression had anger in it, shock, disbelief, and a deep shame from having his true thoughts exposed. He pointed right at Lu Jie's nose, his fingers trembling. Lu Jie, I'll remember what you said today. Just you wait. With that, he turned and walked out. Lu Cheng's wife followed him out. But before she left, she shot me a nasty glare. My mother-in-law stood right there, looking at Lu Jie, then at me. Her lips moved, but in the end she said nothing. Then second sister helped her leave. The others left one after another too. In the living room, it was just me and Lu Jie. Lu Jie sat on the sofa, his head in his hands, not moving. I walked over and sat down next to him. I put my hand on his back. Do you regret it? I asked. No regrets. His voice was muffled. It should have been like this a long time ago. In the days that followed, we sped up all our plans. At the hospital, Qian Tao's test results came back, and they were surprisingly good. The doctor said my body was in way better shape than other women my age. Although my ovarian function had declined some, even though ovarian function has declined a bit, but the success rate for IVF is still pretty high. Lu Jie's test results are all normal too. For people your age to have bodies in this shape, it means you've been taking good care of yourselves. The doctor said, as long as you prepare properly, the success rate is still quite promising. We felt a lot more relieved hearing that. At the same time, the reform at the company was also moving full speed ahead. Lu Jie took the people Lu Zishu had promoted and cleaned them out one by one. Most of these people were Lu Zishu's classmates or friends. Their abilities were all over the place, but they all had one thing in common. They were loyal to Lu Zishu, not to the company. The hardest position to deal with was the sales director. Lu Zishu had put in his old college roommate from abroad, a guy named Zhang Yuan. This Zhang Yuan did have some skills, but he was way too arrogant. He looked down on everyone. Lu Jie called him in for a talk. He asked him to cooperate with the audit. He straight up said, Mr. Lu, you're Zishu's father, and I respect you for that, but Zishu and I built the company's sales channels together. Without me, whether those channels can hold up, I can't say for sure. That was a straight-up threat. Lu Jie didn't say a word. That afternoon he signed a few dismissal notices. When Zhang Yuan left he said the company would regret it. But a month went by, and nothing happened. As for those so-called channels, after Lu Jie made one phone call after another, those who should keep working together still did, and the contracts that should be signed were still signed. After all, with 30 years in this industry, Lu Jie's name carries a lot more weight than Lu Zishu's. Lu Zishu was totally sidelined. On paper he was still the general manager, but he didn't have a single person on his side. Every document needed Lu Jie's signature. Every day he sat in that spacious GM office, staring at his computer blankly. Occasionally, he'd sit through a meeting in total silence. This went on for less than 2 weeks, before Lu Zishu couldn't take it anymore. He submitted a formal resignation letter. The wording was much more polite, but the last sentence showed his edge. I'm going to start my own business, then you'll see what I'm worth. Lu Jie accepted the resignation letter. He just said good luck. Lu Zishu walked to the door, then suddenly stopped. He turned around. He looked at me, then at Lu Jie. His eyes were a little red, but a creepy smile was on his lips. Dad, he called out to Lu Jie, his voice a little choked up. All these years, thank you, but the choice you made today, you're gonna regret it someday. Before we could say anything, he pulled the door open and walked out with big strides. Lu Jie leaned back in his chair and let out a long sigh. He is gonna regret it, Lu Jie said. I looked at him. What do you mean? He thinks he has got skills, that he can make it on his own. Lu Jie shook his head. He doesn't know that all those so-called skills of his, we built them with our money and connections. Without us, he is nothing. I didn't argue, because I knew Lu Jie was right. In this industry, there are too many talented people, but the ones who actually make it are few and far between. Why? Because resources and connections don't build up overnight. Lu Jie spent 30 years and tens of millions in hard cash to build a solid network in this city. Lu Zishu, a kid in his 20s, what makes him think he can go solo? But that is for later. Right now, the most important thing is the IVF. The process was way harder than I expected. I had to take fertility shots every day, and my belly was covered in needle marks, all bruised and swollen. The egg retrieval was just a minor surgery, but it still hurt so bad I was drenched in a cold sweat. After the embryo transfer, I stayed in bed for 2 full weeks, barely moving. Luja stayed with me every day, cooking all kinds of different meals for me. Those hands of his had signed contracts worth tens of millions, and shook countless a person's hand. But when I'm chopping veggies in the kitchen, I'm as clumsy as a kid. Day 14, we went to the hospital for a blood test to confirm pregnancy. The hour we waited for the results felt longer than any hour in my entire life. Luja held my hand. His palms were completely sweaty. When the nurse pushed open the door, she had a smile on her face. "Congratulations, your blood levels are great. You're confirmed pregnant." I burst into tears right then. Luja cried too. 2 50-year-olds, hugging and crying in the hospital hallway, crying like kids. At 6 weeks pregnant, we got an ultrasound. "Look," the doctor pointed at 2 tiny dots on the screen. "Twins. Both look really healthy. Could be a boy and a girl. Twins. One of each." Luja and I looked at each other, and we both saw huge surprise in each other's eyes. On the way home, Luja drove super slowly, grinning like an idiot the whole time. "Two," he kept mumbling, "two at once." I laughed and smacked his arm. "Focus on the road. Don't get distracted." Then, he suddenly got serious. "What do you think we should name the kids?" I thought about it. If it is a boy, Lucian. If it is a girl, Lu Shining. Xian, Shining. A moment of peace. Luja rejected those names. His eyes got red again. "Great names. A moment of peace. Okay." After the news got out, Lu's side got anxious. The first one to call was Lu Cheng's wife. This time she didn't make a scene. Her tone changed a lot. All concerned and caring. Saying congratulations. Asking if I needed any supplements. They offered it to me. I politely turned it down. Then Luja's second sister called, telling me to take care of myself. Said advanced maternal age is risky. Told me not to brush it off. Then she finally added, "Sister-in-law, about Zishu's situation, you two should think it over again. That kid's pretty pitiful too. Getting kicked out just like that." I didn't respond. I just said, "Second sister, I need to rest now. Let me hang up." What hurt the most was Lu Zishu. After he found out I was pregnant, he came over the next day with Lin Chi-Chi. They brought flowers and fruit. All smiles, like nothing ever happened. "Mom," he still called me Mom. "Heard you're pregnant, so Chi-Chi and I came to see you." I leaned back on the couch, looked at him casually. "Have a seat." Lin Chi-Chi set the fruit on the coffee table, and said with a smile, "Mom, I made you some bird's nest soup. Drink it while it is hot." I'd never had his bird's nest soup before. Lu Jie came out of the study. When he saw Lu Zishu and his wife, his expression didn't change. He just nodded, kind of like a greeting. Lu Zishu sat down, carefully choosing his words, then spoke up. "Dad, Mom, I know I messed up before, but I've thought about it a lot, and I get it now. No matter what, you raised me for 10 years, and I'll remember that debt forever." I glanced at him, but said nothing. "I also know you're having your own kid now, so you might not need me anymore." As he went on, his voice got quieter. "But I still hope we can stay in touch." After all, Lu Jie cut him off. "Zishu, you're right. We raised you for 10 years. That relationship isn't going to change because of anything. But you know, you have your own family now, your own parents. You should be putting more of your time into them." Lu Zishu opened his mouth, like he wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't say a thing. Lin Chi-Chi was sitting nearby, barely saying a word the whole time. But her eyes kept checking me out. There was something in that look I couldn't quite figure out, like she was sizing me up, or maybe plotting something. Days went by, and my belly kept getting bigger. A twin belly is way bigger than a single one. Just when I hit 6 months, walking was already getting tough for me. Lu Jie was worried, so he hired 3 veterans as security guards, working 24/7 shifts at the villa's gate. It is not that we were overreacting, it is the Lu family people. They kept showing up more and more often. Lu Cheng came over every few days, bringing all kinds of local specialties each time, saying it was to help me build up my strength. But every time he'd casually bring up Lu Zishu. Third brother, Zishu is starting his own business now. It is not easy. You two as parents should help him out more. Luja always gave the same answer. Big brother, I told you. Zishu's company matters are his own call. Lu Cheng would brush it off and not go, but he'd come again next time anyway. The most annoying was Lu Zishu's mother-in-law, Lin Qiqi's mom. She actually showed up at our place, saying she wanted to help take care of the pregnant lady. I had the security guards block her at the gate. She made a scene outside, saying our family has no manners, saying we look down on people. In the end, the security had to escort her out. Sometimes I wonder, what are these people really after? Our money? Or just a clear conscience? Maybe in their eyes. Luja and I did the wrong thing. We should have given everything to Lu Zishu. Then just quietly grow old, quietly die, and take nothing with us. But they forgot one thing. This is something Luja and I built together with our own hard work. We have the right to decide who to give it to, and who not to. No one can make that decision for us. At 32 weeks pregnant, I was hospitalized. The doctor said my blood pressure was a bit high. Twins are higher risk, so they recommended I check in early for observation. Luja didn't hesitate for a second. He got me admitted, handed everything at the company over to the VP, and stayed by my side at the hospital every single day. That afternoon, I was slowly walking down the hospital hallway, when I suddenly heard a familiar voice from the garden downstairs. I walked over to the window and looked down. It was Lin Qiqi pushing a stroller, with Lu Cheng's wife right next to her. Lu Cheng's wife was holding that baby, smiling so hard her face was all scrunched up. Grandma's precious grandson, Grandma missed you so much. Come here, let Grandma give you a kiss. Lin Qiqi stood there smiling, looking all happy and shy. That kid was Lu Zishu's son. I stood at the window watching the whole scene, and oddly enough I felt completely calm inside. Back in the old days, I would have been sad, would have felt hurt, would have felt like all those years raising Lu Zishu were wasted. But now, I just watched quietly. Then I turned around and slowly walked back to my hospital room. Luja was peeling an apple for me. When he saw me come back, he asked, "What is wrong?" "Nothing." I smiled a little. Saw someone down there with a kid. Whose kid? Zishu's. Qiqi and his mom. Luja's hand paused for a second. Then he went back to peeling the apple. Peeling it slow and careful. "Tinger," he suddenly said, "when our babies are born, I'm going to take care of them myself." "Okay." "No nanny, I'll do it all on my own." "Okay, I want to watch them learn to walk." "Got it." Started kindergarten, started elementary school, started middle school, started college. "Okay, I might live to be 100. I laughed. "Sure, I'll do it with you." At 35 weeks pregnant, my water suddenly broke. That day at 2 in the morning, I was jolted awake by a sharp pain. The sheets were soaked. Luja got up from sleep, didn't even have time to change clothes, picked me up and ran downstairs. 3 security guards, 1 drove, 2 escorted us. Got to the hospital in 20 minutes. When I went into the delivery room, Luja insisted on going in with me. The nurse couldn't stop him. "I'm her husband. I have to go in." His voice was so loud the whole floor could hear. The operating room lights stayed on for a long time. I heard the first cry, then the second one. The nurse brought out 2 babies, a boy and a girl. Their skin all wrinkly, blood vessels still showing on their faces. They were ugly as hell. But Luja cried. He cried louder than anyone. Louder than both babies combined. When the nurse pushed him out of the delivery room, his eyes were all puffy like a monkey's, but the corners of his mouth were grinning. He looked both ugly and hilarious. "Tinger," he held my hand. His voice was shaking. "Look how beautiful our babies are." I looked at those 2 wrinkly little things, then at Luja, crying his eyes out. I couldn't hold back my tears either. I finally had children that were really mine. Not adopted, not fostered, born from my own body, flowing with my blood, carrying Luja's genes, completely and totally our children. That feeling was beyond words, like a puzzle that had been missing a piece for so long. Finally finding the last one, Luja sent pictures of the 2 babies to the family group chat. No text was attached. The group chat was dead silent for a full 10 minutes. Then Lu Cheng's wife sent a voice message. I tapped on it to listen. Her voice sounded clearly off. "Congratulations, congratulations. Third brother, sister-in-law, just glad the baby's here. Just glad the baby's here." My mother-in-law also sent a voice message. Her voice sounded so much older. "Third brother, is the baby okay? When can they come home? Can I visit?" Luja replied, "Mom, let's talk after they're discharged." What surprised me the most was Lu Zishu. He sent a really long text message. Basically, he congratulated us on the new baby, said he'll always remember how we raised him, hoped we could get along well from now on. and that he'd be the big brother to his younger siblings. I read it 3 times and turned off my phone. Lu Zishu, you want to be the big brother to my kids. Do you even deserve that? You're Lu Cheng's son. You lived in my house for 10 years. I gave you the best of everything, but you couldn't even get your kid to call me grandma once. And now you're telling me you want to be the big brother to my kids? I smiled and shook my head. We don't need that anymore. Lu Zishu, we don't need you anymore. On the twins' 1-month birthday, we only invited a few of our closest friends, had a simple dinner at home. Sister Wang came. She held Shining in her arms and couldn't put her down. She kept saying, Tinger, see, I told you you should have your own baby. Look how much she looks like you. I smiled and said nothing. Shining fell asleep, her little fists clenched tight. Her mouth kept twitching. Wonder what tasty thing she is eating in her dream. Shining woke up. Her big dark eyes looked all around. Sister Wang's heart melted just watching her. Luja sat beside them, looking at the 2 kids. His eyes were full of light. I knew from today on, a new chapter had started in our lives. 50 is not too late. There is still time for everything. As for Lu Zishu, I heard he started a small company, doing pretty much the same business as us. On the opening day, Lu Cheng showed up. He even brought a few relatives from the Lu family to support him. But in this city, without Lu Jie's backing, whether his company can survive, nobody knows. Sometimes I think, maybe one day he'll make it. Or maybe not, but that doesn't matter anymore. What matters is, Lu Jie and I finally figured out the simplest truth. What you want in life, you have to go after yourself. Your own kids, you have them yourself. Your own path, you walk it yourself. No one can take that away from you. The end.